Okay, so my first stream, and we have an iPhone 7 that has been taken in from another shop, reportedly with audio IC issues. So we'll just test that into here, voice memos, and if we hit record, it'll likely do nothing. As you can see, there is no sound bar coming across with the difference in frequencies. Nothing at all. And if we go into dialer, some random numbers, dial, and the loudspeaker will be grayed out, which it is. So pretty much I'm going to say yes, it is an issue with the audio IC. So let's get the phone opened and have a look. I'll pause this bit until I get the board out and we can take it from there. Okay, so we've got the motherboard out. The liquid damage indicators are looking okay. There's no liquid seen this. So let's just get this off so we can get to the audio IC. And here we are. This is the devil right here. So we'll get a look at that under the scope and see what we're looking at. Right. Some flux. This just helps the solder to flow, and we definitely need that to flow because at the other side of this we've got the baseband CPU, and if we get that too hot, that can lead to a bit of trouble. Now what I'll do here is I'll lift the board ever so slightly so that gravity, as soon as the balls melt under here, gravity will let this board fall down whilst the chip remains in the tweezers. You don't want it too hot, but you don't want it too cold. You want the temperature just right to melt the balls and nothing else. And this is taking slightly longer than I'd like. There we go. So there. The balls on the chip. Get that out of the way just now. And we'll just tidy this up. Replace all this unleaded solder with some leaded. Makes my life just that little bit easier in the long run. You can see that ball just came away, but that one's not important. It's not connected to anything, so we don't care. The one we do care about is that third one from the top left that has just came away. And that is the exact reason why this audio was failing. 9 times out of 10 that'll usually get lifted when we lift the chip itself. But this is a super important line. This one is from the clock. So it goes to the CPU itself, and it's the codec, audio codec clock. And the clock is super important because everything needs to know a time as to when it's going to do anything. At what point you should be sending those ones and zeros, which are super important to making the phone work, the data. So to fix this, we need to run us a little wire to keep that line back to the way it should have been. Let's get this in focus, shall we? That's kind of out of focus there. Okay, so a little bit of flux. I just want to get some leaded solder onto that resistor that it needs to go to. And there we are. To get some in the tip here. That's probably more than I'd like, but there we are. It's just enough there so I can get a wire to stick onto that. And this is the wire that I use. This is 0.01 millimeters. So that's a 1/100th of a millimeter. That's finer than a human hair. And let's just get this off and place it down here. Now I've got super shaky hands, and if I can do this, anybody can do this. Just takes a little bit of practice. I'd like to get a grip further up here. There we go. And we're just gonna put a little bit of solder on here. Just to scrape away. This is magnet wire, so it's got a coating on there, so if I need to run wires past any other components, it can do it quite safely. You see some videos where people like to curl things up. That's not what I do. That's connected. That's all I need. And we're just going to snip this, hopefully without breaking the wire. We broke that at the wrong place. There we are. And that's that out the way. So I shall get a cotton bud. We'll get some heat there just to dry this off so I can put on the UV mask, which will prevent that from moving anywhere. And it just cleans up all that horrible flux. There we go. And we'll just throw you back where I want you. Yeah. And we've got this green UV mask, which is what I use here. Just get a little bit of that on the end here, and I just want it over here. Just enough to prevent that wire from moving. Yeah, that'll do that. Don't know if you can see that clearly enough. Nope, down this way. And there you are, you can see that wire that I've created just right here. And that is super thick compared to the trace wire that's down there. So we're going to get that cured and we will reball the audio IC ready to put back on. So let me just go and do that and we'll get the audio IC. Okay. So there we go. One audio IC. And we've got to put nice shiny balls all over that again. So, start off, give it a little bit of flux, just to help that solder flow. And we'll fill up the tip. Now all I really want to do is, I don't want to touch this with the iron, I just want the balls to actually just touch that solder blob that I've got on there. And there we are. That just replaces everything with lovely leaded solder. Leaded solder is a lower melting point than unleaded, which helps us because we don't want to put too much heat on the phones. Phones really don't like heat. And unfortunately, to repair them, we need to use a considerable amount of heat. You probably noticed that I'm not wearing any electronic static discharge devices either. Honestly, I don't see the point. I am whacking this with an awful lot of heat. I really don't think it cares about any static coming off of me. And I've not really had any issues to tell me differently so far in the years I've been doing this. Okay, now we need to find a stencil. Now you... There we go, you will do. And you're nice and so kind of clean. We have some flux left over from a previous attempt here at a different job. There we go. Oh, one here. And one here. Right. Let's say we're good. And this is some flux paste that I've already dried out. I find that if it's too wet, it will just bubble up and it will not make our life easy. So this has been dried out. And we just want to fill up all these holes. Get as much in there as you can. There we go. Now this stuff is 138 degrees centigrade that this will melt at, so it's a really low melt, but it isn't low melt as in what we would use for taking off an HDMI port on a PS4 or Xbox One. This is just low enough to help us along. And I just set the hot air station because we don't want too much air and we don't want too much heat. And we're just going to first, I'm going to heat up round there just to get the template up to a temperature as well. Otherwise you'll find it'll probably try and buckle and twist on itself, which makes life a little difficult. And I keep doing this, you're going to see, there we are. Still a couple there that hasn't stuck down. We'll let that dry out, cool down a little, and hopefully, if I can just hit this with a little bit of flux. That it might just pop those loose balls back into place. It's looking good there. And just let them cool down. You'll see them probably just start to change colour slightly. There we go, and whatever you are, I want rid of you. I'll just push this out the template. Hopefully that's just enough, and there we are. I'll just give that another run over with the hot air. And there we are, nice shiny balls. Ready to go back on the board. So we'll put this out the way. Clean up the work area. And we'll grab the board back from under the UV light, which is curing that green gunk I put on there. Let's see how that looks. Looks like that's cured, but now we need to remove it from these lines here. And of course there's ground pins here. I might just give that another run with the iron. It's just a bit too big of a bump. No, we're not going to use that, it's too big. Yeah, we'll just use the micro tweezers. Just enough to... There we are, flatten that down. And we'll just get another cotton bud, give this a little tidy. Okay. So we'll just orientate this the way that we took it off. Put down some flux. Again, I've said it before, this just helps the solder flow. We'll grab our audio IC codec. There's our arrow here, just down at the bottom. So this needs to come around this way. I really think I should have cleaned that up first. But I don't want to chip my chip, so we've got to be super careful. There we are, now you can see that arrow just right there. And we're going to place him down. This needs to come down a bit here. That's too far in. Oh, we're going to be playing about with this for half an hour, I think. There we are, that's kind of where I would want to see it. And I'll get the hot air back. And let's see if we can't just put this into place. There we are, you can see that better now. You'll probably see this want to move. Let's just heat up around the board first, so we don't create a thermal shock. I would see the IC's already wanted to move away from where we put it, so let's just see if we can nudge you back into place. Oh man. Sod's law, you want to do a stream and it just wants to become difficult for you. I'm going to turn this around. As you can see, I've got more space at the other side. I just want to be able to give that a little nudge to make sure it's in place. As you can see, thermal tension there. I'm giving it a nudge, it's pushing back. That's enough. I just need that to cool down a bit. Now I'm super confident that we've got this done. I'm just going to stick this back in place. And we'll turn it over. Oh, that is one. Okay, that's it back down there. Let's stick this back in the housing. And let's just see if we've managed to fix the audio problems. There we go. I'll put you back on the camera. Let's see what we're doing here. And the rear camera, charge port. I'm not going to care about the antennas just now for the cellular network. Keep them out the road. SIM. Let's get the screen plugged in. And hopefully, all being well, we'll do voice memos and we'll get the sound wave, and we'll also have loudspeaker back on the telephone. And we'll also see if we've managed to knacker up the baseband by having no signal, no service on the phone. So we'll just see in a second. Well, it's not boot looping, so there's a good start. And we do have network. Here we are, O2. And voice memos, record. And as you can see, or maybe you can't, but we now have the sound bars coming along here, which is what we expected. And I can play that back. And as you can see, or maybe you can't. So that's sorted that out. Let's just come out of there and into the phone dialer, dial, and we have loudspeaker which now lights up. So that one's repaired. Great stuff. I'll just put this back together and customer happy. Thanks for watching, and if there's anything you'd like to see get repaired, or if you've got something you need repaired, send it in to us, Micro Soldering Solutions. Give us a call, 07367 756 391. And we'll see you in the next recording. Thanks. Bye-bye.